Hi folks, HR Funk here, with the third and final installment in my series on my brand new Smith & Wesson Performance Center Carry Comp revolver. And if you've seen the rest of the series up to this point, you know in part 1 I did a detailed review of the Carry Comp revolver, and in part 2 I compared it to my older combat magnums, specifically my 2.5-inch Model 19 and my 3-inch Model 66. And if you missed those, I'll put links to those videos in the comments section below. But today I'm going to be looking at the performance of the Carry Comp revolver on the range. And this is something that a lot of you have been looking forward to, and I'm going to get right into it. So when I got out to the range the other day, I was actually recording the shooting for both the previous part to this series, where I was comparing the Carry Comp revolver to my older combat magnums, as well as the shooting that you're about to see. And the first part I did was the chronograph testing, and what I discovered at that time was the ammunition that I was planning on using for what you're about to see was not quite what I thought it was. I was using 158 grain Freedom Munitions ammunition that was loaded with Hornady XTP bullets, and according to the Freedom Munitions website, that ammunition was rated at 1,200 feet per second, but out of this revolver and my other two, it was averaging between about 900 and 930 feet per second, so it was more like a 38 Special Plus P load than a true 357 Magnum load. Interestingly, the greatest velocity during that test came from the Carry Comp revolver, and it was averaging about 930 feet per second. So for whatever that little bit of a boost in velocity might be worth, this was the highest velocity, or this revolver was recording the highest velocity with that ammunition. That said, that's what I had most of with me out there that day to shoot this part of the video. And I did shoot this revolver through my standard handgun testing battery, which starts off with a 7-yard slow fire accuracy drill, and you'll see that part right here. And I'm hitting a little low with that Freedom Munitions ammunition. My point of aim was right here at 6 o'clock on the bullseye, and I'm about an inch, maybe an inch and a half low. As far as the group size goes, other than this one shot, those are all within just a little over an inch center to center, maybe an inch and an eighth center to center. And then that one's going to open it up to probably inch and a quarter, maybe inch and 3/8, something like that. So not bad accuracy. I think a little bit of this was me just being sort of shaky today, but I'm going to see how the accuracy improves as I continue shooting. I'm also going to make a sight adjustment, see if I can raise that point of impact a little bit, and I'm going to move on to a different drill. After the accuracy test, I decided to go ahead, since I was already set up at 7 yards, and shoot my failure drill test. If you've not seen this before, this starts out in a ready position, and I then fire 2 shots to the body and 1 shot to the head in rapid succession. And I'm really testing the controllability of the revolver and the ability to transition from one target area to another target area and still be able to keep accurate shots on target. Here's what that looked like. And no problem with the failure drills. With those full power 357 Magnums, they're all heart and lung shots for the body shots, except for this very first one. This was the first shot that I fired on my 3rd failure drill, and I just pulled this a little bit low. I saw the sight drop on that. That's my fault. The headshots all stayed nicely in the head, so double action failure drills are looking pretty good. Next, I moved up to a distance of 5 yards from the target for a multiple adversary drill. And in this drill, I actually have 2 targets that are simulating hostile adversaries. And when I start the drill, I start by firing 1 shot at the target on the right, then 3 shots to target on the left, and then 2 more shots to target on the right in rapid succession. And this drill, once again, is designed to test the controllability as I'm transitioning from target to target and making sure that I can keep accurate shots on target even though I'm shooting them at a very rapid shot tempo. And here's how that drill went. And that might just be the best that I have ever shot the multiple adversary drill with a revolver. 5 out of those 6 shots are heart shots. All 3 of those shots are on the heart. 2 shots are on the heart right here. One of them is just off to the left in the lung. So I think both of my hostile adversaries would have been having a very bad day. And that was very good performance on the multiple adversary drill by the Model 19 carry comp. Next, it was time to back off to a greater distance and stretch the legs of the carry comp revolver a little bit and see how it would perform from that greater distance from the targets. And in this case, since I'm still shooting a revolver with a 3-inch barrel, actually the front sight is set back even from the end of the 3-inch barrel, so I only went back to a distance of 30 feet. This is not a long-range target revolver by any stretch of the imagination, but I did back off a little bit and tried it at a medium shot tempo, and here's how that drill went. Folks, I think from 30 feet, the Model 19 carry comp did extremely well. All 6 of those shots are in maybe 2.5, maybe 2 3/4 inches center to center, right center of the chest. And I was not taking a lot of time to line up the sights and slow fire those shots. I was basically picking up the sight and trying to squeeze off a nice smooth double action pull. And that went into a nice group, as I said, center of chest. So very good performance on that drill from the carry comp Model 19. So at this point, I was feeling pretty good, and it was time to find out once and for all if the Model 19 carry comp revolver is a tack driver. So I loaded up 3 rounds in the revolver, I backed off to a distance of 7 yards, and here's how the tack driving shot went. Low on the first shot. I've got to lift it, or raise my point of aim rather, for the second shot. Windage was good. Brought it up a little bit too much. See if I can split the difference between those two. Yes! On the third shot, the Model 19 carry comp is a 20-foot tack driver. So in the end, the Model 19 carry comp revolver was a 7-yard tack driver, and I'm pretty happy about that. So as I sit here at the end of this video, I'm ready to tell you my final thoughts concerning the Model 19 carry comp. And the first thing I'll say is to echo what I said in the last video, and that is that I believe this is a worthy successor to my older short barrel combat magnums. I don't think it's quite the revolver that they are in terms of style and class, but in terms of durability, it is certainly an improved version of those older revolvers. It is going to be a more durable revolver, particularly standing up to a full diet of full power 357 Magnum ammunition. When it comes to the Compensator, I think the Compensator does its job. It tries to limit muzzle rise when you're shooting in rapid shot scenarios. And if you are shooting quickly and you have to get follow-up shots on target, I think that can potentially be important. The double action trigger pull on this revolver, I've mentioned several times, is one of the things that I really wish was different. It is just heavy. And I've measured it before. The double action pull is between 11 and 11.5 pounds, and I would just like to see that lighter. Now it's very smooth, as you just saw as I was operating it there. There's no problem really staging the trigger, but I would like to see that drop down a pound or two just to make a little bit easier double action pull. Single action pull isn't bad. It measures at about 4 pounds, but it feels lighter than that. So I don't really have a problem with the single action pull. The sights, I talked about this in the last video. I would prefer a more high visibility rear sight, a white outline, or maybe even tritium inserts on the rear sight to help that be a little bit more visible. Same thing with the front sight. In standard or daylight lighting conditions, the front sight is not as easy to pick up as the red ramp on the older revolvers, and I would like to see something a little bit more highly visible in terms of the front sight as well. But that's also something that I can swap out, both the front sight and the rear sight, if I eventually decide that really just bothers me and I want something different. So all in all, I think this is a good revolver. I think it's a durable revolver. I think it's something that's going to last a long time and stand up to a lot of shooting, but it doesn't quite have the personality, if you will, of my older revolvers. By the way, folks, something I meant to mention earlier in the video is that earlier this week I had to qualify with my issued Glock, and for several days after that qualification I was trying to wash the Glock off my hands and I just wasn't succeeding. And finally, I think handling these Smith & Wesson wheel guns got the last of the Glock off my hands. So I feel a lot better. My hands feel clean finally. So that was one great thing that came out of working with both the Carry Comp revolver and my older combat magnums. And that's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, as always, make sure you forward those to me. Remember, if you purchase anything from Optics Planet, be sure to use my discount code, which is... And if you use that discount code, it's good for 5% off anything you purchase from Optics Planet. Also remember, WarbirdBunker.com is making t-shirts for the channel. If you go to WarbirdBunker.com, you can find my t-shirt there, as well as all of Nathan's other firearms and patriotic themed gear. And if you use my discount code at WarbirdBunker.com, which is HRFunk for you, that'll save you 10% off your entire purchase from WarbirdBunker.com. See you next time, folks. And until then, good shooting. Bye-bye.